Hi everybody, welcome back to Arma 3, welcome back to SOG Prairie Fire, and in this video I'm going to be showing you how you can play Mike Force, the kind of dynamically created massive mission, solo though, not in multiplayer with other real players, solo with the SOG AI mod. And this is really doable. You can have lots of fun doing this. So first off, we're just going to go through the mods that you could use, that you might want to think about using when you're doing this mode, and then we're going to dive in and I'm going to show you how to get started with Mike Force. So now the thing that trips a lot of people up and tripped me up as well is you need to on Steam subscribe to Mike Force in the workshop, and I'll put a link to all of these things in the description below this video. Otherwise, when you go to host the local server on your local PC, Mike Force actually won't be there. So you need to subscribe to that. You need to subscribe to SOG AI. SOG AI by the amazing Johnny Boy. What he's done is he's rewritten lots of the scripts that control how your squad mates work, your AI squad mates work. So they're much more effective with the way that they move around the battlefield. It's much simpler to move them around. They engage the enemy better. They disengage from the enemy much better as well, and they heal each other and they'll come and heal you. And what I'll do as well is in the description below the video I'll put a link to the mod, but I'll also put a link to my guide, my beginner's guide to using it. I really recommend Web Knight's 2 primary weapons or some sort of 2 primary weapons mod, because this is Vietnam in the late 1960s. You know, you don't have close range weapons with red dots on, or long range weapons that you can swap between a long range scope and a close range scope quickly, and the ability to have a submachine gun and a something like an M16 with a 4x scope on it is, I think it makes the game much more enjoyable and enables you to engage enemies at various distances, and I don't think it's that too much immersion breaking. CBA 3, that goes with 2 primary weapons. Now the simple single player cheat mod, highly recommend you install this and you use this when you're playing Mike Force or any of the Prairie Fire missions, because when you spawn in, and you'll spawn in, say, as the Mike Force, the infantry, the backbone of the soldiers in this game mode, you can't use certain vehicles and certain helicopters, most of them. But if you've got the same simple single player cheat menu, that will enable you to spawn in a helicopter like a Huey or a tank or a truck, and then use that to get around the map. Because one of the disadvantages of playing Mike Force solo is that you can't call on another person, a real person, to fly over one of the Green Hornets, which is one of the other factions, in the helicopter to pick you and your squad ups and then take you somewhere. You've got to fly them there, and the ability to be able to access Zeus while you're in game, I think, is very important, and adds actual immersion to the game and just makes it less frustrating. It means you don't have to wait around to move around the map, and you move around the map in a more realistic way than just teleporting around. Death and hit reactions, you can add this if you like. I'm playing around with it at the moment. And an automatic view distance just to improve your FPS. In fact, what I'll do is I will put a link to Nightin's how I doubled my FPS in Arma video, because if you're new to Arma and you've been sucked in maybe by Prairie Fire and the idea of playing Mike Force, it can be a bit disappointing when you fire up this 10-year-old game on your super duper gaming PC and you're only getting 20 frames a second out of it. So you'll have all your mods selected. And you'll have the Prairie Fire DLC selected. So let's hit play and let's load up Arma 3 and get started. So Mike Force it's a bit like a massive game of Battlefield's Conquest, but instead of just having to capture and hold HQ points, you've also can go and you've got to like destroy weapon caches and things like that. So it's great fun moving around the map and engaging enemies. And what's really cool as well is, because we have SOG AI, we can call in airstrikes of all sorts of things. So what we want to do is we want to go to multiplayer, we go to server browser, we go to host server, so we click on host server, and then we choose Cam Lao Nam, Mike Force, say play, and this is going to fire this up. Now at the moment I'm not sure how or if you can make a server persistent when you have it on your local PC. So I think what happens is when we escape out of it and when we shut down our PC, I think it forgets everything. So you're probably not going to be able to play a game of Mike Force where you're going to be able to play the whole scenario and get rid of all of the enemies. I don't think so, but if I do discover how to do that to save the state of the server so you can come back to it, trust me, I will be making a video about that. Here we go, so we're loading in. Right, here we go. So we are in the Mike Force HQ. So if we press M to bring up the map, you can see all these red areas. These are all the places that are controlled by the enemy. These areas here with the little pointers on, these are going to be the first tasks that we should be getting on with. If we click on this little icon here, we can move to where we are. So we can see we are at Play May or Play My, which is the home of Mike Force. So when you spawn in as the grunts, this is where you spawn in. To the south of us we have Play Q, where the Green Hornets are. So these are all the pilots will spawn in there who are going to fly combat air patrols or ground support missions or supply missions. We've got Quantum, which has the Spike team, and then the engineers, I think, spawn in here at Ban Me Thought, if I hope I'm saying it right. So let's press M to come out of that. So that's me. So if I press H, this can bring up your like little diary, if you like. It's got who I am. Oops, didn't mean to do that. We've got no active tasks, but we could set a task. So we could say capture Ban Ring, capture Ban Hong, and then capture and hold HQ. We could make that active. If you find that doesn't appear there, if you go into the map and then just select it and say assign, that will now be assigned to us. And the reason why you do that in multiplayer is so that the same squads aren't trying to do the same thing, or the same squads want to be doing the same thing. Now this part of the base is very important. So if we zoom in here, you can see we've got the duty officer and the arsenal. So the duty officer, if we go up to him and we press 6, he can give us training to become like an engineer, so we can build stuff, or explosives training, or medic training, that sort of stuff as well. Also, if we press H, I think when we come out of this, I think, yeah, there we go, we can double click on there and we can change our faction as well. So we could change to become, for example, a Green Hornet, which means we would then be a pilot, which means what we could then do is go to the airfield and automatically be able to get into helicopters and use them. But we're not going to do that for that one. And then we've got this little map, which if we press 6 on, we can fast travel around the area. Let's go over here. So your arsenal, very, very important. Hit spacebar. This is, well, it's the virtual arsenal. What you'll want to be adding here, specifically into your backpack, and well, any other place that holds inventories. If you click on the magazines option here and scroll down, you'll want to add food and drink. So you want to add canteens and you'll want to add rations, because in Mike Force your character has to eat and drink, otherwise you'll lose all your stamina. I don't think your AI teammates have to. So here we go. So we've got canteens, for example. Okay, add another one of them. Some chicken, add some of that. But also, very, very importantly, if we keep going down, you will see meds. And meds are very, especially venom meds, very, very important. And dysentery meds, because you will get ill. You will get bitten by snakes. You will need to treat yourself. Okay, so let's come out of there. So we kind of set ourselves a task of what we're going to do. But we're not going to be able to do it by ourselves. Trust me, we're not going to be able to do it ourselves. So I'm just going to move out of the base, and then we're going to spawn in our teammates. Because, as you know, Arma 3 AI, they're not brilliant about moving through areas with lots of buildings. And although the SOG AI is better, it's still not brilliant. So we come out here, and we can say choose group to spawn by scrolling down on our mouse wheel. And let's have Recon Team Columbia. My old friends, they will spawn in. I will change my appearance to match them, and then I can change my player loadout. What's really cool here is, at this point, for example, I could throw my Tommy gun on the floor, and I could go through and look for my favourite M16. There we go. Where is it? The M16 4 times. With these, there we go, that's my favourite one, the M16 with the 4 times and the suppressor. So we could say, yeah, we'll have some of that, please. I'm pretty sure I've already got some M16 mags. Yeah, we've already got M16 mags. We haven't got any drum rounds though, so let's go down to the drum rounds and find the M1928 Tommy gun rounds mags. Which this can be a little bit of a pain, this, but you do get quicker at it. Right, here we go. So RPD, M63 Stoner. That's a good. It's like a mini LMG. Keep going. Here we go. 50 round M1928 mag tracer. Yes, please. Can I put them in my backpack? Is it? Let me add them in. Yeah. Okay, so we can now come out of there. There's my. There we go. And if we press I, we can pick the M90. Oh. Let's press 4, sorry, to put the M16 into our sort of secret slot, which means that now when we press I, we can now put the Tommy gun into our gun slot, which means, as you can see on the back of my character now, if I press 4, we've got the M16 with the scope, press 4 again, and we've got the Tommy gun for close-up duties, which is very, very cool. So at this point, we're kind of, you know, we're kind of ready to go, aren't we? We can hit tab, we can say, follow me! Let's go and take some names, as they say. But we've got a bit of a way to go, because we're there. Our target's all the way over there. Now this is where the simple single player cheat menu really comes into its own again, because we can press M to bring up the map, and we can say load simple single player cheat menu. So we click on that. That will then load. We go into cheats, and we can go into virtual garage. And we can say open the virtual garage. Now we can click on helicopters, and we can now go through and we can choose a helicopter to take us. So we could have something, I don't know. You've got to be careful with some of them, because some of them won't be able to fit all of your squad members in. And also be careful if your squad members have got into a helicopter and then you change it. Sometimes they'll kind of disappear, which isn't very good. I tell you what, I quite like the Seabees ones. These ones, not the Marines ones. We want the. I suppose the Marines one could be okay. I quite like these, because these remind me of the Wessex 5 that the Royal Navy used to use. So we could have something like that. To escape out of that. So now we have a helicopter that we could tell everybody to get into. All board vehicle. Now sometimes what will happen is when you get them to all board the vehicle, one of them will get into the driver's seat. the pilot seat, sorry. But remember, you can just select them with F1 or F2, F2, F3, or look at them depending on who it is, and then you can tell them to get out. You can get in, and then you could tell them to get in as well. So that will give us a way of moving around the battlefield very, very quickly. Or obviously the other thing we could do is if we press M, go into the virtual garage, we could take a truck, something like that, and we could jump in and we can wander around and we can do that sort of stuff. Let's go back to here though. Marines, that's pretty cool, isn't it? So let's go with that one. Let's say everybody get in the helicopter. Here they come. In fact, I tell you what, I'm going to get in before someone else does. There we go. Hopefully they're all going to fit in. Come on, chaps, everybody get in. Right, let's start firing her up with shift. Everybody's it. Oh, it's not everybody in? Oh, not everybody's got in. Oh well. And off we go. Let's look at the map. We can decide where we want to go. And we could take our squad. And remember, land quite a long way away from the LZ, because you want to be using stealth to go in, And in fact, I tell you what we're going to do. We're just going to land. So I've just thought of something I need to show you, which is air support. So let's take her down. Have I managed to? I think I've managed to leave most of my squad behind, haven't I? I'm not sure if we can land in a paddy field. Put auto hover on. Let's take it down. Oh, we're going to crash into that tree. Apologies for my ineptitude at playing Arma. Okay, everybody get out. Select everybody. Oh, yes. I think I've left a few people behind. Let's get away from the helicopter, so I just want to show you something. So, when you're actually in combat and you're moving towards your objective and you're coming up against enemies, stealth is very important. So if you use Control-C to go to walking pace, you will be able to sneak between patrols, you and your squad, which is very, very cool. But it's going to go hot at some point. So what you can do is if you click on radio support, so going down with your mouse wheel, you then have access to an unbelievable amount of air support. You can even call in an arc light mission.
Covey. Razorbacks. Covey. Razorback 6. We need air support. Over.
You've got cluster bombs for the jets, anti-tank, illumination for at night.
Covey. Light up the tree line to our west.
So we can say cluster bombs, bring them in there.
Air inbound, one mic, over.
In fact, let's do high explosive flechette. Let's do flechettes from a Cobra. Let's call that in there.
Covey. Razorback 6. We need air support. Over.
Razorback, Covey, roger. Tell me where you want it.
Covey. Hammer that tree line to our west.
Okay, so we've got some enemies on our position, and the air support is unbelievable. There we go. That's an arc light coming in. And you're calling jets, helicopters, B-52s, all sorts of stuff. Very, very cool indeed. In fact, that might not have been the arc light, that might have been the other one. So hopefully this has been useful. Hopefully I've given you some ideas about how you can play Mike Force solo with the SOG AI, and you're going to have a lot of fun with this unbelievable game mode. If you've got any questions or comments, please put them down below. If you found the video useful, hit like, and of course I will see you again soon.
Razorback 6, Covey. Aircraft or Winchester, RTB.